suitable for this role, right? Well, yes. Something important to mention here, it's about the accessibility facilitators. According to the scope, they must ensure that potential advisory council members can apply. I don't know if anyone has seen anything that come from facilitators that they have mentioned specific people for this role or entities. Oh, you have a problem with hearing? Oh, can you hear me well? If not, I can disconnect my AirPods. Okay, all good. Perfectly okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you can hear me well. This is our last official subcommittee meeting, so we want to have a really good one. Okay, good. And yes, Marianne has shared there on the chat that we're working our proposal, and this the part of the peer-to-peer recruitment system, and we really would like feedback on this. We have provided information in a couple of subcommittee meetings ago, and it's public, the document. You can comment there. We have a specific comments that I have pointed out. We really would like to, in this specific part, to have feedback. What do you think? It is the best, let's say, like when it comes to budget, what could be improved? So we have a couple of weeks before we officially submit our Q4 document. So please, it would be extremely helpful for us if you could take a look to our to the draft or our Q4 proposal. So thank you, Marianne, for sharing the link. There it is for everyone to see it. It has been shared as well in the forum on Discord as well. So there you have it. And okay, coming back to this, what can we do now? As you know, maybe we're not like, okay, we how can we do, or what's the next step what we can do to have this? Think about someone, some entity or someone that during this year has an extremely remarkable work, remarkable achievements, a good reputation in the industry. You could think about the perfect, maybe not the perfect, but it will be like a role. A good candidate for this role, and maybe we can all kind of like review the work together. But if we mention like no one, it's going to be even more complicated or difficult. So yes, and of course keeping in mind that in the scope we have a specific criteria and requirements, right? So it must be someone whose values and vision, of course, aligns with the end game. But of course, then the rest, like when talking about the knowledge or talent and expertise, could really be a plus to Maker. And just to give like a brief about this scope as well, that we can find more detail into what its desire, or what could be like a very good competency on this member. Well, we have it in the section of the scope. Not only that, but it includes as well skills, and it's mentioned about marketing expertise, as well as proven ability to expand user bases, experience in managing Web3 communities, technical expertise in decentralized technologies. Well, there's just some specific details that is mentioned on the scope. Not only that, but if there is some other relevance that we can focus on, where we're going to focus in now. And just to, before going to the next slide, to the 80s following sovereign finance AVC, and actually to anyone that can would like to contribute, especially on the second and third question, how can we have the answer or what can we do about this or the next steps, it will be really helpful to work on this too. We are currently, of course, working on the first one. So yes. And in order to give it more context, in section 1.1.3.1, it says there are also sometimes specific pieces of advisory work listed in 1.1.3.2 that can be taken only by applicants. Nevertheless, this section it's empty and it says no one yet identified. So that's why we have a proposal for this. And so in this part, we think that it's important that for maker and for the end game if needed to pay for research. So this research will help the tech choices we make. It will help also any improvements we may want to make in the near future, in the in the short term or in the long term. It could happen, or and this is aligns with the vision of maker and of endgame. And that's why we also believe that funding research will contribute to making well-informed decisions. Sometimes, lately, we have seen that because of transparency and many more reasons, it has not been happening that much. But this is what we want to, right? And with this, we also include like in understanding how these new technologies can be developed and how they might improve our process in the future. So this way, I think that the purpose of everything, right? We can stay at the forefront of innovation and, of course, continue to improve maker and endgame. So we're focusing on these three main points, which is the front ends for sub-DAOs and easy governance front ends, chat platforms, and also any other alternative communication channels that it may decide to use in the future. Okay, this is a little bit the second part of the proposal. And well, the importance of research is to focus on specific technologies for the end game. This ensuring that these technologies incorporate key elements that we pointed in here. We have decentralization, redundant and decentralized storage for censorship-resistant access. We have security measures to protect user data and funds. Of course, user-friendly interface suitable for a diverse range of users. Well, the outcome of the research is expected to provide a comprehensive evaluation of each considered option. So here we want to also highlight both advantages and disadvantages. Not only that, but also payments for these research activities is contingent upon the successful completion of course, a specific deliverables. Okay, so what do you think about this, about our proposal on this part of the accessibility scope advisor? I don't know if there's anything that maybe questions or comments, if you disagree in the first part that we mentioned about the importance of pay for research. There was also kind of like different comments on these. When there are people that also are eager to contribute for free, right? And they have a lot of knowledge. So that's why this topic should be on the table, and to be able to discuss this even when it comes to the budget and everything that comes with this a specific topic that it's for having accessibility advisory scope members that are aligned with the end game, but they also are very have a lot of knowledge and talents and are going to be beneficial for a maker. It's also in our draft document, so there you can provide us with your feedback on this. Already, it's been shared, the link on the chat, so don't worry about it. Okay, let's go in now to this part. Probably everyone is aware about this by now, right? But this is important to kind of like not only mention it, but in this specific part, we really would like to know the insights of our ADs following sovereign finance AVC and all the participants in general. Okay, so let's put some context. In the final executive vote of the year on the Maker Governance portal, there were proposed different changes. This was, and this is the one that we're going to focus now, but there were more topics, and if you want to bring any of us also in and share your insights and this, please go ahead, because apart from this topic, there is also the increase in debt selling for claimants custody, the adjusting stability fees for WBTC-A, WBTC-B, and WBTC-C, optimizing smart burn engine parameters, approving a resolution for real world asset foundation DAO, covering legal expenses for Andromeda, and setting up best streams for existing facilitator. And of course, the one that we're showing right now, which is the removal of Steakhouse and TechOps from the facilitator budget list. Well, all this executive vote already passed on December 2nd and was executed on December 4th, meaning just a few days ago. Again, on the vote, there were all the topics that I mentioned. So if there is one in specific that you would like to address, please write it on the chat. Now, with this specific situation from about Steakhouse and TechOps, there was no discussion on the cutting of the Steakhouse beds, since well, this according to the Discord, the Steakhouse members were not aware of this decision, and they were addressing like if there was any discussion about this. And as far as I'm concerned, there was not. It was just kind of like a forum post, nothing else. What else do we need to know about this? That TechOps team is responsible for managing and maintaining different, let's say, technological systems and services within Endgame, right? What's going to happen with that? Something else about this is that this was, I think, in the forum, what Wizard mentioned that the teams they're going to be funded by the Launch project, and if that is the case, then the accessibility facilitator should take care of it. And of course, the issue is that so far there is not accessibility facilitator yet, right? So there is like inconsistency, or there is no information about what is going to happen. We have put into here like what are going to be what are the pros and cons about this decision made. And well, the second question, according to what Wizards has been already answered. So yes, they're going to be funded by the launch project. I don't know if any of our participants have anything to say about this. It's a very important topic, and we should mention. Um, so I don't know if Blue or Cloaky wants to have some insight on this. We are also sharing here some comments made by GFX Lab on the forum, and this was under the ecosystem team post. And well, basically, all these questions are seeking clarification, right? And what is going to happen with the funds, and also the organizational structure, and they inquire about potential funding from the launch project and the adjustments in the existing streams. So yeah, they mention even they ask even about Fitness Labs, about Oracles, about BA Labs, um, Event, Viridian, Protector Advisory Company, and SideStream. So unfortunately, ecosystem team has not addressed this question. They have not replied. So far, there is no answer to these specific questions on when it comes to the fundings of this project. Something that was addressed during the, I think it was the Discord. It was about of course, the budgets for Steakhouse and TechOps, and the budgets were added in the MIP 113, and this was back in, if I'm not mistaken, March 1st, when of course there was like a different focus, right? It was more about infrastructure and finance back then. So there is this. These are the information we have collected, if you want to put it that way. But yes, what's been the issue here and has been addressed also in the Discord about the fact that the offboarding of Steakhouse and TechOps, and how was the process. And it was a comment that it says, if you want to offboard a service provider, you give warning and severance, and that's how it should be. And so in this situation, it has not happened that way. So yes, are the processes going to be now like this, or the executive vote is going to be like this way, and we're going to kind of like get to know in the during the executive vote? Is this some questions that we have? I mean, we have in mind, and in these days we've been like kind of bringing into the table. There is it coming from Cloaky. I mean, yes, yeah, but Wizard also mentioned that they are already like, yeah, it's been confirmed by both Wizard. Although, yeah, there is no like more information into that. Cloaky says, and the specific amounts do not necessarily disclosure, as the launch project does not mandate transparency. We can likely presume that the funding remains consistency with the previous allocations. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if there is anything else that would like to be mentioned before moving on to our next part. There's not only the GFX comments, there was also Open Sky comments, which also you can see questions like, what lessons can be learned here going forward? What is the transition point expected? So yes, and this is a very good one. It says it might be good to have aspects in the atlas or the scopes that focus on the aspects of resiliency that comes from ensuring core stakeholders and are informed and taken care of. So yes, those are the only concerns that we have found. It could be the forum or Discord, and this one in particular that we have posted in here and have not been answered yet. On to the next part. Also, during one of the previous Cloaky says, BI Lab serves as a scope advisor. There is no rationale for them to transition under the pre. That's the thing. We there is so much information that hasn't been shared about the lunch project, and everyone is just uh probably even the people that we asked for about the lunch project, they even don't know either. So it's like a one of the biggest issues that needs to be changed for next quarter or next year in ASAP. Oh, thank you, Cloaky. Relevant, it could really help us to take it into account. Please write it on the chat so we can also have more information that is going to be really helpful for us for the proposals that we're working on. So yes. Okay. Please, if anybody else wants to address something about these previous topics, you can do it. Even if I'm not looking at the chat, you can put it here, and you're gonna have replies from our team. Okay. Moving on to the part of the transparent spell governance security process. During one of Room's calls, it was addressed this biggest, I mean, the issue, I would say, that it's about the safeguarding maker from potential threats or malicious situations, and he addresses as biggest challenge. So he gave different examples, and there is one, I don't know if you have noticed, but there is one specific when he mentions about the North Korea situation, and I want to believe it's of course because of the cyber attacks that occurred there. But if anybody from here could give us a specific context into why he always, I mean, the specific context for North Korea and yeah, this issue is going to be very helpful to our understanding. Is because of course of about this we have put it into a list of infiltrated developers. So they have malicious codes hidden in the spell, rogue developers, smart contract exploits, and probably many and many more situations that could be very could be as potential threats uh, for maker, and we need to be aware of and do something about it. So knowing that this is a very big issue that we need to dive into, there is a solution for this, which is to build transparent spell governance security process. Now, the question here is how do we do this? or what is the process to do this, right? So these are a couple of let's say what we want to work on. So in order for this to happen, in order to build a transparent spell governance security process where we are focusing on this. So develop a crisis communication plan that outlines the communication strategy in the event or of a security incident. Currently, I don't know if there's a crisis communication plan. So far, I would say there is no one. Um, so that is the first one. Then we have institute a system of periodic security reviews for spells and the overall governance process. Um, I would say that fortunately, lately or in the previous months, there has been a lot of work, probably also a lot of progress when it comes to these spells. But of course, there is so much that needs to be improved. Um, for example, if we want the community to be involved, then we need to not only focus on the technical people that of course they are expert and they understand these, but the let's say the basic user that not necessarily it's a dev or understands about this, that could also kind of like address an issue if there's any. So there needs to be a progress into this. That's why we put it in here, community involvement. But before if we want really the community to also be not only us and yes discuss it, but more people, the ones that actually are maker users, well, there's a lot to be a lot work to be done. Then include opt-out mechanisms in protocol upgrades. This allows users to choose whether they want to adopt the new changes or stick with the existing version. Integrate an emergency pause functionality that allows the protocol to be halted in case of critical issues. There are way more that needs to be included in here. So I don't know if there is any other that you would like to address it. Could let your comment here on the chat, and even better if it's in the document on the draft. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our delegates following sovereign finance. So we're going to start with Blue. Okay, and this is from Blue's comments. And it says, Powerhouse gave an update a couple of days ago, giving a glimpse of some of the DAO Toolkit products. Probably everyone have seen the Powerhouse post, and it says, so although the development of the DAO Toolkit has been included in the support scope, and indeed Powerhouse is an support scope ecosystem actor, the DAO Toolkit will be cross-cutting tool that will facilitate governance tasks, and we welcome the progress presented. So I'm going to take the moment now that in Blue's comments was regarding Powerhouse, because tomorrow, this has not been posted yet on the forum, but we're just sharing it here first. So I say tomorrow, but we're going to share later that we are going to have an out of schedule subcommittee meeting. And we're going to be joined by 2 members of Powerhouse. And basically, it's about they want to tell us about the progress of the Universal DAO Toolkit and their real world as a report and business feature. And so basically, I'm pretty sure that everyone has questions regarding their forum post. So please come to the meeting with your questions ready. There is this big issue, right, that we have, that most people do not understand. I mean, do not answer Discord questions or forum questions. So what's the best opportunity if you have the guest on the meeting that to there is no way they won't answer unless they say they don't want to answer, right? So yes, um please schedule the call. It's going to be next week. It's going to be on Wednesday, and here you have the time. So we really hope that not only we're not only joined and people are here to listen to these dates, but also if there are, and I'm sure that there are many questions, please bring it specifically about the real world assets. I think that for everyone, there are still a lot of concerns and questions about it. Here we are sharing the agenda they have provided us. So it says intro to powerhouse ecosystem actor and the role of endgame. So it's going to be a question and answer time. Featured spotlight real world asset reporting feature, and feature discussion. So okay, it's going to be on this channel as well. So yeah, we really hope that everyone could join us and bring us their questions. Okay, moving on with Clocky's comments about this scope. And Clocky's comment is, I think, what most participants or ecosystem actors also have this same opinion. It might be wise to wait for the beta launch of the launch project before considering modifications to this scope. So yes, that's why we put it. We know that we are at the crucial moment in MakerDAO, both because of the beta launch of the launch project and the progress of the next generation alphas in Guide, which challenges use as AVC to find the best way to make valuable contributions during this time of change. Actually, this is, I think I've addressed this already, but yes, it has been really challenging to addressing um, relevant information that could bring us to each scope, because of course we have to there are many more scopes, right? And so sometimes we don't have much information, and this is a specific issue that we are hoping to improve for. We're not hoping that we're going to improve for next year. Okay. Okay, there was a few days ago this post also from the ecosystem team about enhancing location resiliency for accessibility compliance. And then there is specific topics that they addressed for the actors to improve. And they mentioned about the section 8 of the scope, which is the allocation resiliences. Um, and so they request that TechOps undertake these changes. It says first the limited filtering compliance. So this talks about the configuration and frontends to limit features like sub-DAO farming, like Dyson rate, and for users, for USA users and VPN users. And then full block enforcement, so denial of service for IPS from specific countries and regions. And this is from also, it's mentioned in section 8. And well, basically they put this update in order for the specific actors to update and to be enhanced to this scope. Okay. Now this is one of the last topics, and it's about the accessibility reward. Um, during different runs participation in different, let's say, podcasts and even events. It has been addressed also about accessibility reward. Not that much information, but it has been said some. And so all this, of course, also with what we have in the scope, right? So if we go to the scope, um, it's basically this refers to the reward mechanism that it's designed to make her more accessible to users, and not only that, but to incentivize the growth of sub DAOs in the ecosystem. And so we put here some key points that are related to accessibility, and it's mentioned about, of course, incentivizing user participation. So basically, the accessibility reward, it's a mechanism to encourage users to engage with Maker. Users that I mean, they are not only attracted to Maker for beneficial benefits, but also for the opportunity to earn rewards, um, thanks to the subDAO tokens. It's also mentioned about, and we put here, the economic sustainability for subDAOs. And when Rune talks about subDAOs, he mentions is that it's that this is kind of like a form of economic sustainability for subDAOs, and that subDAOs that are that successfully bringing users are rewarded and providing them with the means of sustain their operations, even to pay contributors and invest in innovation. Now, users that are also drawn to subDAOs, of course, maybe at the beginning it's going to be because of they want to farm tokens, but this is going to help, and this is going to create a demand for the specific subDAO tokens, and so users are going to actively participate in the different subDAOs. Something that is mentioned, it's that it's going to be a very focus on the user. So it's going to be create, in a user-centric environment. So that means that users become central to the growth and success of subDAOs, and the rewards serve as an incentive for continued user engagement. So we need to see how this is going to work. This is what it's kind of like the plan, right? And and then we have put it here, financial inclusion and innovation, because in this scope, which is accessibility, of course, this extends beyond TradFi, or that means traditional finance services, but to include a broader audience. So these incentives, one of the purpose, it's to attract a diverse user base and drive innovation within decentralized finance space. And that's why we see subDAOs that are very specific. Let's name some, like the Sakura subDAO, that it's focused on Asian users, right? So, and just like this is going to be very, very specific, and in order to kind of bring in more users that not even know are into Maker per se, but they want to be more involved in the subDAOs. Okay, well, we have put in here the latest news, and in this part, it's we're going to focus on the accessibility scope, and is about the new paragraph that it's in the component number 9. So I'm just going to read because this was added. The launch project must explore options to help bootstrap the purpose system and can request governance votes to allocate MKR from the post proxy as grants or donations to relevant causes. Such payments must be approved through a maker vote, and if they occur, are separate from and in addition to the launch project budget. Well, it's also related to the MIP 100 exceeds, that it's the purpose fund. Okay, what else is that the launch projects have received a third transfer, and these funds are going to be allocated for this specific part. So if there is a, well, on this, if not, well, this is going to be our last subcommittee meeting. Nevertheless, we have one more call next week with Powerhouse. So again, we want to invite everyone in here to have your questions ready in order for the Powerhouse team to address your concerns. That will be all for today. And again, a reminder that we have posted already, and it's open to everyone to share their feedbacks in our draft, in our Q4 draft. So we're going to officially post this very soon. So you have a couple of days to provide us your feedback and specifically to the peer-to-peer part and also the ones that we have mentioned today. It would mean a lot. If there is nothing else, that will be all for today. See you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.